If you're currently cutting or thinking about starting a cut, there's a good chance that you've tried and failed before. This wasn't because you're lazy and not because your program was wrong. You struggled because nobody told you that sustaining a calorie deficit is a skill. And like any skill, if you don't know the rules, then you're going to make it harder than it needs to be. I've watched this pattern play out hundreds of times. Smart, disciplined guys who grind through 3 months of misery but then snap and rebound. Then they wonder why cutting never seems to work for them. The problem is that they made it needlessly brutal. And if that resonates, this video is going to help you fix that. My name is Andy Morgan. I am the head coach at Ripped Body, and over the past 15 years, we've helped thousands of busy guys get ripped without the process taking over their lives. There are 4 key things that you need to get right. Most people don't think about them, but if you do, you will be successful. All right, let's go. First, the minimum viable calorie deficit. The first thing that most people get wrong is the size of their deficit, how fast they try to lose weight. Faster is not always better. I understand the logic. You want to get this over with. You've got a beach holiday, a reunion, a deadline, so you slash calories, push through the hunger, and tell yourself it'll be worth it. But you've tried this, and it wasn't, was it? When you get too aggressive, your hunger becomes unmanageable. Your training performance drops, your body starts breaking down muscle for energy, and eventually you snap. Not because you're weak, but because you've made the process unsustainable. We all know that habits matter, so stop practicing habits that you can't sustain. There's no point in replacing habits that aren't leading you to your goal for a set of behaviors that are so hard to sustain that they can't become habits. You're not a bride looking to squeeze into a wedding dress. You're looking to consistently improve your physique over time. In our experience, the sweet spot for fat loss is roughly 0.5 to 0.75% of your body weight per week. Now, for most men, that is going to land somewhere between 3/4 and 1.25 pounds of fat loss per week. Push any higher than that and you risk muscle loss as well. Now, I know that sounds slow, but the purpose is to preserve muscle, performance, and enough sanity to stay consistent for long enough to make a real and lasting difference. Now, here's a client of ours, Dave. We had a modest calorie deficit, which helped him adhere, and the result was 25 pounds of fat loss in 7.5 months. Now, this is something that he had been trying to achieve for years, and that summer was his first family vacation where he didn't feel self-conscious about taking his kids to the beach. Now, here's another client, John. Now, for years, John was stuck in a cycle of aggressive deficits and complete rebounds. Now, we broke free by setting him, again, modest and sustainable targets. That way, his efforts had a chance to compound instead of constantly being interrupted by this starve-binge cycle. And 18 months later, 51 pounds lighter, I'm sure that you'll agree, he looks like a new man. The key is to give yourself the minimum calorie deficit that still produces measurable and meaningful fat loss week over week, not the maximum that you can white-knuckle your way through. But did you notice that it took them longer to achieve the level of fat loss than our target rates would have calculated? This isn't because their adherence kept breaking down. It's because we used diet breaks, which I'll come back to at the end. But first, there's something even more important I want to talk about. Sensible food choices. Now, 2 people can eat the same calories and have completely different experiences of hunger. Part of that is genetic, and part is food choices. Now look, we can't change our genetics, so let's focus on our food choices. Imagine one person, they eat ultra-processed food for lunch and they are ravenous by mid-afternoon. Then the other, they eat whole foods and they feel fine through dinner. Same calories, very different experience of calorie deficit. The reason is satiety, how full you feel after a meal. And when you're trying to sustain a calorie deficit, how full you feel per calorie matters. There are 2 levers to pull here. You've got your protein intake and low calorie density foods. Protein is the most satiating macronutrient. It also requires the most energy to digest, and it helps protect against muscle loss. So after getting your calories right, getting your protein right is the most helpful thing that you can do during a cut. Now, if you have a good idea of your body fat percentage, then when cutting, aiming for around 1.1 grams per pound of lean mass, that's 2.5 grams per kilogram, is about right. Now, as I've already mentioned in my video on progress tracking, it's exceptionally difficult to get an accurate estimate of your body fat percentage, so you might consider this recommendation instead. When cutting, aim for 1 gram per pound, that's 2.2 grams per kilogram, of your target body weight. Now, if you have a lot of fat to lose, let's say you're 300 pounds, let's say, and you're targeting 20 pounds of fat loss. Don't get me wrong, I think that is a sensible target. But in this case, let's say that you could wave a magic wand. What would you like to be? That's what I mean by your target body weight here. So I don't know, let's say you're 6 foot, maybe 200 pounds is what you would likely target in that case. That's what I mean by target body weight. Beyond protein, choose low calorie density, high volume, high fiber foods. Non-starchy vegetables, fruits, soups, and low-fat dairy. These, they take up physical space in the stomach and they slow digestion, meaning that we'll feel fuller for longer and hunger becomes manageable rather than a consistent distraction. Now look, consider these two meals. On the left, we've got a high-volume meal, grilled chicken, a large portion of leafy greens, and low-fat salad dressing and some potatoes. This is around 700 calories and very filling. On the right, we have got a latte and a protein bar. Similar calories. Compare the two. Which one keeps you full until dinner? The answer is obvious when you see it laid out like this, but most people don't think about it and assume their calorie deficit is the problem without thinking about their food choices. During a cut, you are working with a limited calorie budget. Spend it on foods that work for you, not against you. All right, the next one, the third one, is your food environment. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Willpower is finite. Everyone knows this, but almost nobody acts on it. If there are bags of chips and snacks in your cupboards, you will eventually eat them. Not because you don't have discipline, but because you're a normal human being with a brain wired to seek out high-calorie food when hungry. The solution isn't to try harder, it's to engineer the situation so that trying hard isn't necessary. We call this food environment design, and it's one of the highest leverage things that you can do during a cut. Remove the snack foods from your house. If you can't because you've got kids, then hide them in the cupboards in opaque containers. Out of sight, out of mind. Put the right foods in easy to find places. So a fruit bowl on the kitchen counter that you'll have to walk past to get to the hidden snack foods is a great idea. Shop in advance so that you have what you need, and cook in advance so that when you know you'll be busy, the food will be ready for you rather than you reaching to Uber Eats. And don't shop when hungry. Half of your success happens at the grocery store. If you set your environment up right at the start of the week, most of your decisions are already made for you. Now, the fourth and final one here is diet breaks. Now, every client takes diet breaks, and if a coaching applicant refuses this idea after we've explained why they'll be part of the process, we politely decline to work with them. That's how strongly I feel about it. Now, a diet break is a planned, deliberate return to maintenance calories, typically for 1 to 2 weeks, inserted into a longer cut. You can think of it as nutrition periodization. Now, the goal is to avoid the dreaded starve, binge, screw it cycle. After you've been dieting for a while, a few things happen. Your hunger increases, your metabolic rate drops, your energy levels drop, and your training performance suffers and you get moody. Now, a diet break interrupts all of that. It interrupts the monotony, and critically, it helps you come back to dieting feeling fresh, motivated, and ready to continue crushing it. We typically recommend a diet break every 10 to 14 weeks. Time them with your family vacations, or whenever you see 2 or more of the following things stack up at the same time. So persistent low energy, consistently poor sleep, gym performance that's declining across your main lifts, and hunger that doesn't seem to respond to sensible food choices. Just know that you will experience a bump in your weight due to water, gut content, and glycogen, but this will come whooshing off the week after you return to dieting. I understand the urge to skip diet breaks, but taking them is not a weakness. They are tools built into a well-designed cut. Use them, and you will almost certainly reach your goal faster and easier than if you tried pushing straight through. So putting it together, let's compare what most people do versus what actually works. Most people, aggressive deficit, no structure around food choices, environment full of temptation, and no diet breaks. Our clients, and hopefully you as well, a modest deficit, protein and food volume prioritized, food environment sorted before day one, and diet breaks planned in advance and available as a tool to pull out when needed. Now, this second approach is not softer or less serious. It's just smarter. You're human, treat yourself like one, and you will be successful. Because here's the thing that nobody in the fitness industry wants to say out loud. Getting lean isn't the hardest part. Staying lean is. But if your cut was achieved through white-knuckling it till the end, you're almost certain to rebound. Do it right and you will keep what you've worked for. That's it. What do you think? Can you relate to any of this? Please tell me your experience in the comments. And if this video helped, you'll find a link to our free 15-day transformation Kickstart bundle in the description. That's training programs, nutrition setup guidance, and the same decision frameworks we use with every client. No supplements, no biohacks, just real food, serious lifting, and data-driven decision making. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.